from the 10th month of the year 1444, a month of very satanic readings. Before we embark on this year's month of very satanic readings, let's consider what it means to be becoming Satan. We could run concepts like the 9 being the universal spirit, Angra Ma'eni are the Davanu, Davo, Ganog, Manog, Staking Body, is agent of counter creation, Aka Mana, Evil Mind, Indar, Stifling, Naon, Aitya, Stinten, Saurva, Taurve, Zaure, Poison, and Asham in the Avestan and derived cosmologies, through the ancient Egyptian 9 parts of the self, Chot, the innocence, Run, Ba, personality essence, check, Ah, check it, me, mentality, Yub, emotional state, well, shoot, silhouette, Suxum, Axe, and Sah. However, we are not delving into those cultural categories and titles here, because our focus here is on the Order of 9 Angles, Temple of Blood, and Court of Ahaz, as towards paradigm shifts and even atomic societal shifts in our becoming or not. House of Drecc, a sinister tale by Draco Noktul, has the sort of progression, mirroring, and gore in the previous text I spoke of by him. Predator, Counterintelligence, issue, gives a nice list of sources on spying and works with both facts and fiction to show how the techniques of those middle organizations that we call governments make discoveries of how a Satanist might work with and against organizations from within. And the how. Predator 7 indicates that Satanism has become more about method and using available energy. The hardships people are put through are towards adjusting our egos upon a lesson that makes us operators of our lives, even when society falls apart. Even fiction indicates that the path is not merely what we want, but it is of a discipline that ends the old us and brings about something new. Temple of Bloods, discipline of the gods, altars of hell, apex of eternity, is about how the change is to become a predator on a level that transcends the worldly platforms. On the soul platform, we can use the forms of the secular and sacred traditions to break the conservative and liberal influences to more than within us. There will be building up energy, taking on the form of the ones called or treated as gods and goddesses and myths, and using the lessons taught by the military and law enforcement. We are working to become one with the harsh age that is coming. False Prophet 1, internal journal of Temple of Blood. Predator issues or likewise, Temple of Blood, reminds us that Satanism is not just a mode, and once a person starts some paths, the entities of that path keep wanting to be on it. Their difficulties in the Temple of Blood and the essences of the mundanes are towards your transformation. Astral travel and manipulations aren't just cheap thrills, and those may come to lead you to understand what you are doing to yourself. Sometimes quantity is what we should be after, and there is a collective force to work with. It goes beyond stereotypes of getting back at society. It steps outside of the boundaries of typical occultism into a daily communion that leaves behind what you thought you were. It learns from the difficulties of life and goes beyond seeking states. We can take charge of our own destiny out of the old paths without projecting a Judeo-Christian mentality upon it. They may have secularized, but the NSDAP programming techniques have been part and parcel in the media and have produced this triggering and cancel culture. Conservative vicarious reliance is not the only way out of what they are doing to us with their media. False Prophet 3, internal journal of Temple of Blood, points out the importance of using brainwave states towards a cause. Spiritual alchemy is towards becoming a bridge between the worlds, and that will cause changes in all sorts of societies. Whatever mode or role we take on in the process is not us. We will pass through trials, and false egos will be broken by choice or force. The forced are slaves, and those who surrender past that are masters. Be real to yourself and don't seek unity with groups for its own sake. You must do what it takes, accept death, and know the horror that is to come to society. Ready yourself by what disturbs. Learn from both sides of conflicts. Soon a level of evil will be unleashed against the world that was formerly impossible. Divinity will be known in the mysterious and the monstrous emanations. There are those working their own formulas and intentions. On both sides of wars, death and corruption can be treated as primary forces of existence. Tales of Sinister Influence by Temple of Blood illustrates that outer piety can enable a sinister influence. Colorado holds secrets in architecture and its mountains. Boards. Artificial. Artificial positivity won't stop the vampires. Acts of importance usually need repeated. Governments do almost unbelievable things. The fear of the past of organizations hides the underlying causes. we should not be limited in music styles and having our effect. After one is questioned about the meaning of a story, one reads a story where one who didn't immediately get the answers to the questions is afflicted. Till they answer correctly without instruction. Rebellion can start with sex and drugs, but quickly turns to beliefs and actions more threatening to social order. Sometimes indiscretions will be overlooked if people are deemed important enough to the organizations they are a part of. Predator 6 by Temple of Blood reminds those under political persecution to look beyond the situation. Trauma distorts the sense of reality. The fear of the destructive abilities of humanity only seems to have reason to increase. Thus far, we survive and reconsider. There is journey beyond this body and an impact we can have in this world beyond its life. A spiritual presence flashes in the night to join us. Swords of Undeath by Court of Ahaz can be said to consist of 7 swords. The fire beings merge with the clay beings. People can make themselves a part of projected force. This is by being a conscious part of a collective. It is a sort of transhumanism. It is of final decisions. It is of a primal connection to a source path. It is developing beyond what holds society back. Sinister Tales by Anton approaches the folk in a way that gets us past the modes, order of 9 angles, folk, and act for use. It allows us to set aside the mentality and theology to go through the methodology in a more free-flowing way of being. It involves the feminine archetypes in a world that still doesn't tend to get the mythological importance of that on a spiritual platform. Testing, changing other methods of practice, spiritual gateways, beings, and their worlds becomes known. It serves as a model of the mythologization of the environment of the practitioner. In closing, it might help to consider the perceptions it gives as the almost unmentionable force behind the mention of Demogorgon are the Demiurge. Demogorgon as the Dahmas Gorgos are the people quickener, and the Neoplatonic way of nous, or divine mind, can be regarded as either archa, primacy, logos, reason or cause, and harmonia, pattern or concordance. Are phasis, nature, and praxis, engaging, the pathai mathos, education by adversity. I'm not done with reading, writing with, and otherwise using these sources, but I think we can now ask ourselves, were the demons in charge? Will they be again? It depends on what angle we look at and how we are morphing with our relationships with the spiritual worlds. I think I had a little bit wrong. Dahmi Uragan. The word I said first. And of course, the closing bit more puts it in the order of 9 angles, and other sort of things. Court of Ahaz, I think it mentions, other than those 8 volumes of Predator, I think there's got to be another one because, or another one coming, because this one I don't remember what it mentioned there. So I don't remember which order it was released in, whether it was the last of this series to be released to the public. I mean, this is really a series. Predator 1 through 7 and the Counterintelligence is a series that I've been around for. But